Imagine an attention-grabbing transition you can do in camera that's so easy it only takes a few extra seconds to both film and edit. It's called the whip pan, and I'm going to show you how. To pull it off, you start by filming your subject or your scene, and at the end you quickly pan to one side, in this case the right. In practice, this is what it looks like. So in this case, I'd be taking my shot, and right at the end, I would simply pan quickly to the right. And I'd encourage you when you're first starting out to take a few different shots and try panning at the end at different speeds so that you have a few different options to play with and match the panning of the next shot when you go to edit. For the second shot, you want to start with your camera facing off to the left of where you want it to end up, and then quickly pan to the right, stopping at your subject or scene. In practice, it looks like this. I start with my camera off to the left, and then I quickly pan and stop right at my subject or scene that I want to end up on. Now, the hardest part of this second shot is when you're panning, to be able to have the camera stop exactly where you want it to be with your composition and subject, just how you want it. So sometimes what I'll just do is I'll repeat the shot anywhere from 3 to 10 times so that I can at least hopefully capture one that stops right at the right moment and there's a minimum of micro jitters and I have some options to play with in post. Another way to make this second shot easier is to actually do it in reverse. So you start by filming your subject and then you pan off to the left. Then when you import your footage, you simply reverse it, which means they're going to start with the camera off to the left, which is what we originally wanted, and then pan to the right and stop on your subject. This is only going to work though if you don't have something in the shot that's obviously giving away you're reversing your footage, like somebody talking or walking by in the background or a car driving by. But if none of those things are present, this is a great way to pull it off and make it a little bit easier. By the way, I'm Rain, and my channel is about helping you make better looking, more impressive videos. So if you're getting any value out of this, please consider a like and subscribe. In the edit, it can be as simple as cutting each of these shots right in the middle of the pan, often where the motion is fastest, and then putting them together to get this effect. It might take some fine tuning or playing with it a bit to decide where exactly those cuts should happen so that when you put the clips together, it looks like one smooth motion from one clip to the other. Part of what can help sell this effect is when there's a natural motion blur from the fact that you're panning so quickly. And the best way to get that natural motion blur is to obey the 180-degree shutter rule, which means that in my case, since I'm filming in 24 frames per second, I want my shutter speed to be at 48 or 50. If you're filming at a frame rate of 30 frames per second, then you want your shutter speed to be set to 60. This is going to give you the most natural looking motion blur so that when you butt these two clips up together, it's going to sort of hide the seam and make it look like one smooth transition. And sometimes I like to try exaggerating this effect by adding a speed ramp right in the middle of the transition. And it's usually just the last few frames of the first clip and the first few frames of the last clip. This just helps the pan happen really fast, and it almost seems a little more impressive that you could pan so fast and still stop right on a perfect composition. It's worth experimenting though, because it doesn't always actually make the transition better, but it's fun to try. And you can use these same steps to pan in pretty much any direction, like up. In my example of a whip pan here, I'm kind of combining it with a second technique called a match cut. This is where a prominent part of your shot, in this case my subject, ends up being in the exact same place so that it matches from shot to shot. This isn't necessary for a whip pan, just something I was having fun with. And to really sell the visual effect, don't forget to add sound effects like a whoosh sound the moment the pan happens. If you want to see more impressive looking transitions you can do with a different kind of camera, check out this video right here. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.